This is the Volkswagen ID.5 GTX, and today I'm going to share with you a review of the car, give you a tour of the exterior and the interior, and we'll take a look at the driving experience. We'll talk about the charging experience here, the SP chargers behind us. Click subscribe to stay updated to more videos on EVs. This is my first time test driving a Volkswagen. You can see the logo, large one over here, and Volkswagen has been moving to electric vehicles. The ID range stands for Intelligent Driver. Now, when I went to the showroom to collect the car, they told me that they've got the ID.4 and ID.5, and I asked what's the difference. So both share the same platform. The difference is this is a sportier version. And as I thought about it, I think about it like the Hyundai Ioniq 5 and the Kia EV6. Two cars that share the same platform. If you see this car from the side, it has a more curved coupe look, sportier look, and better aerodynamics. Whereas the ID.4 has a higher roof and it's more boxy, squarer appearance, which is better for families. So this is the performance range. You can see the GTX logo over here. So this car starts at $254,900 inclusive of Cat B COE. And you can see you got large wheels in my side. And over here you got cameras all around the car. We'll talk about the cameras later as we go inside the car. As we come down to the side, we have a full panoramic glass roof. And the door handles are again all the way inside. So recessed, as you open it, I've got my car keys inside. You can see that the car is locked, trunk, and unlocked over here with these car keys. And as you come inside here, you can see in the front driver's seat that I don't have to manually turn the car on and off. I just walk in, the car is on already. You can see the state of charge over here. Right now at 85% state of charge, they have 524 km. This car has a WLTP range of 533 km. Real world driving range would be at least 480 km, which is very good. You can go to KL without charging. So this car has a large battery pack and it's very good for city driving. You can see inside here, there are buttons all around. One thing that many people have been talking about is these kind of touch buttons. You can see that they're not like full real buttons. There's almost like a touch feedback. So I wish there was a better response in the buttons. Otherwise, you got the driver's instrument panel down here that shows you your key driving stats. We have the new ERP 2.0 above. And another unique thing about the controls in this car is the window controls here. There's only two buttons. So you may be wondering, how do I unwind the windows in the rear? Well, you got to click the rear button. And when I pull this, you can see the window in the back. It should open. Let me try. So there you go. So when the rear light is on, you can adjust the rear windows. I'm going to close the rear windows right now. You can see it comes up. And when I want to do the same for the front windows, just click this, and then the front windows close. So slightly unique. If you're first time driving this car, just one small thing to take note of. Now this car, let's find out whether it has a frunk. We always do this with all EVs. So we pull this lever in front here. And let's go in front and check it out. So here you go. There's a lever in the middle for safety LED so that it doesn't fly off while you're driving. As you pull this to the left, you pull up. You can see this is the front of the Volkswagen ID.5 GTX. So it's got its motors, but there's no space today for a frunk. So to close it, you just let it go. And now let's go towards the side, where we'll see the charge ports. This car has 11 kilowatt AC charging, which is industry standard today. And it's got DC fast charging of 175 kilowatts, fast and good for road trips. And we're charging here right now at the SP charger with AC 43 and DC 50. Come to the side, at the back, as I show you, the trunk space, which is large, more than 500 liters. You can see over here. Nice hatchback design, very spacious. You can sit here, enjoy a picnic. Two people, very comfortable. There's hidden storage below as well. And as we pull up the hidden storage below, you can see one layer and a second layer below that's a bit deeper. You can see a tow hitch down here as well. As you close, you can see small side pockets on the left and on the right. And there is a little cubby where you can push open for your golf bags or your skis to go through. When we are done, we press this button to close the really large trunk. This trunk is great for road trips, great for large luggage, no issues at all. Now, let's go into the rear seats and let me show you a tour of the inside of the car. In here, you can come in and you've got a flat rear seat which allows comfortable sliding and also makes it comfortable for the center row passengers. Here, it reveals the cubby hole and you can close it as well to also open just the cup holders down here. So by lifting this button, pushing it in, well, there you go. Very convenient. If you lift down all the seats, you get a lot more storage space in this car. Coming inside here, you can see the full panoramic glass roof. You can see the sports design seats from the rear. You've got aircon on top and you've got two USB-C charge ports in the back. I'm glad that there are no more USB-A charge ports in this car. I like the space that we have. It's got a good headroom and this glass roof on a sunny day, you can actually close it. Now that we've seen the back, let's remove the charge port in this car and we're going to showcase the driving experience by driving to the Volkswagen Center at Alexandra Road. So the way to just remove the charge port, again, you've seen many SP charging videos. What we're going to do now is we're going to stop charging, slide to stop charging, and the light will turn from green to white. Once it's white, you may notice that you can't pull it out yet. So what you need to do, go to the key and unlock. And once you do, it also unlocks the charge port. You pull it out, you pull it back in, and let's close this. So you can see right now for AC charging, there is no additional flap you need to open and close, convenient. For DC charging, we just pull this up to reveal the CCS2 charge ports. Closing this in, closing this. Good charge port position. Now let's head inside and we'll wrap up with a tour of the interior and drive towards the Volkswagen Center. Welcome back to the interior of the Volkswagen ID.5 GTX. There are two main specs of this car. There's the base level, entry level Pro version, and we've got the performance version which is called the GTX. As we get into the car, there is Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. I think it's one of the best implementations I've seen in the car. Great screen, bright screen. For now, it's only wired connection, so you still need a wire in order to pair your Apple CarPlay. I hope that future versions will also introduce a wireless version. Apart from that, it's lag-free, it's really smooth. Because I noticed Apple CarPlay in some other cars, like there's almost a 1 second delay in the map navigation. So far, my past 4 days driving this car, no problems at all with map navigation. Really smooth, really responsive. You can see everything I click here is fast, it's easy, not a problem at all. So in this touchscreen, you can also get easy access to climate controls, because in some other cars, when Apple CarPlay is on, you have to move back a lot of steps in order to access the rest of your car features. Over here, if I want to make it warmer or cooler, I will still have some capacitive touch buttons. And if I want to change the aircon, I can just go to climate over here, reduce the aircon, and go back to CarPlay icon. If I want to change the driving mode, instantly just press mode. I can change from Eco, Comfort, Sports mode. Very simple, and just back to Apple CarPlay. I love this implementation. They've got a built-in SIM card as well for navigation. And here in the front, what's good about this glass roof is that you can close it when it's a very hot day, just by sliding over here. And as we slide, you can see that the glass roof above is now closing. It takes about 15 seconds to fully close. And once you do that, you're shaded from the sun. Today is actually a very cloudy day. It's been raining quite a fair bit. So we're going to keep this on. Just slide it out like that, and that's it. And if you want to stop it midway, just hold. We want it to continue sliding in the direction that we want to. I'm going to put on my seat belts. The difference between this performance version, the GTX version, and also the entry-level Pro version is this one has acceleration of 0 to 100 in 5.4 seconds. It's fast. The entry-level version has acceleration of more than 10 seconds, so almost double the acceleration speed. You can customize the interior ambient lights. This car is very well built. There's no problem at all with the build quality. However, for the price, now this car is about 255K. I think people will be hoping, and they shared feedback that they hope that the interior materials could be a bit more premium. So you can see these seat materials here. The side is a bit very firm plastics. Hopefully in the future versions, they'll continue to introduce more premium materials. Otherwise, everything here very well built. I didn't hear any creaks, no panel gaps at all. And this car is made in Germany. For the entry-level version, it actually costs $20,000 less. So that's going to be the version that most people will get. Now that we're here in the car, we're going to navigate to the Volkswagen Center. So I go to Google Maps, and we're going to go to Volkswagen Center Singapore. So click the directions, and it opens up. So we've got a 26-minute drive. And when we're ready, my foot's on the brake pedal. Then I've got my gear shifts over here. So my drive, neutral and reverse. And so we're ready to drive. The headlights turn on. And over here, once we let the Lexus pass, we're going to go forward and we're going to talk about the driving experience. So this car rides pretty high because it's basically an SUV. The steering wheel is comfortable. The seats are comfortable. The noise isolation is good. You don't hear that much road noise in this car. The rear visibility is really good. The side mirror visibility is excellent. It's one of the best side mirrors I've experienced test driving many cars. What I wish was better was the forward visibility. This part here does feel a little bit lower, and this part here, I think it can be a bit lower. If you can widen the forward visibility, that will just make this car even better. As we wait for the car to go in, another special part about the GTX version is we get premium Harman Kardon speakers. So these speakers you can see on the right and also on the left produce better sound quality. Played a lot of music and really enjoyed the sound and music coming from this car. This car is easy to maneuver, easy to navigate. So no problem in tighter car parks in Singapore as well. So we've been driving this car for the past 4 days, and now we're heading to Volkswagen Center to return the car, and we'll show you the mothership where you can pick up and buy this car in Singapore. It goes through humps, not a problem at all. One thing you may notice about this car is that when my foot's not on the accelerator, it still continues moving. You can see that the speedo is only slowing down very gradually. This whole time, the car still continues going even though my foot's not on the accelerator. So you do have to tap on the brake quite a fair bit to control this car. It's a more active process. So again, coming to a stop, I've got to put my foot on the brake for it to come a full stop. Once it does, you can turn on auto hold in the software in the menu. And once you do that, when I release my foot from the accelerator and the brake, it doesn't move forward. It stays hold until I tap the accelerator again. While we wait for that, you can see that there are two USB-C charge ports in the middle. There are two cup holders here, Tesla Model Y. A lot of people are going to be comparing this car with SUVs like the Tesla Model Y or potentially a BMW iX3. Those would be cars in a similar price range. In Singapore, we've got a lot of good EV SUV options. Later on, when we find a nice stretch of road, we'll let you experience a little bit of the acceleration. Because we have such a high vantage point, it's really easy to spot your surroundings around the road. The brakes are solid. Now, the car does feel a bit floatier because it's a higher SUV, so it's not as planted on the ground compared to driving a sedan. We're here at the ECP. We're now making our way to the highway. Beautiful day because it rained most of the day and now we've got very nice cooling weather, a bit of the late afternoon sun. You can see as we get towards the highway, good noise isolation. You hear the road sounds, but the rest of the cars, you don't hear that much. The side mirrors, amazing visibility, gives me a lot of confidence in lane changing. And you can see when a car is in a blind spot, that orange light turns up to warn us of a vehicle in our blind spot. Simple and effective use of blind spot monitoring gives the driver a lot of confidence in navigating across different lanes. They've got their own cruise control buttons on the left side of the steering wheel. On the right side, we've got media controls. For now, we're making an exit over here. You can see the Google Maps on this car. Everything is very responsive, no lag whatsoever. This is one of the best implementations of Apple CarPlay I've seen in an EV. So now making our way underground, Marina Bay Sands ahead of us. Beautiful view. And in coming years, we're going to see an expansion of a fourth tower coming up. Now in the driver's instrument panel, it will show you the vehicle ahead of you to let you know what's a good safe follow distance, especially when you turn on the cruise control. It also shows you your speedometer, the state of charge, and your remaining range. So you can see right now at 84% state of charge, you've got 527 km listed. At the real world range, easily, I'll say at least 480 kilometers. Throughout the entire time, even though we're underground, the map and the coverage and integration didn't lose signal. It's following cleanly, giving us confidence when we're navigating on unfamiliar roads. We're just 3 minutes away from Volkswagen Center and Alexandra Road, where there are many car showrooms. So this is a road we visit quite regularly. It's also an opportunity for the final stretch just to experience the acceleration of this car. And here we go. So you can see that this car is very competent. The speed is more than enough for most people. So over here you can see the Volkswagen Center. They're having a year-end sale right now, and in their showroom you can also check out their new ID bars over there right in front of us. That's their 5, 6 and 7 seater van, the iconic camper van. And there you can see the ID.5 and the ID.4 side by side. You can see the ID.4 is a bit higher, the ID.5 is a bit longer. Both share the same core platform. I'm going to park here next to its siblings at the Volkswagen showroom and wrap up this video. Now let's talk about the cameras. So when I go to reverse, you can see that there is a fair bit of distortion in the cameras to watch out for. I'll find this top-down view a lot more reliable because the side view, these cameras seem, you can see a bit more distorted, a bit more jerky. So I hope that Volkswagen can improve the cameras in future versions. As we come down here, you can see as I just reverse back. There you go, it's really hard to tell the distance because of the distortion. So we can make it a bit more straight. This one's very good. So this is very reliable, the bird's eye view, to know where I am. When we're done, I just press the P button over here to park the car. And once I release my seat belt, we're done. It's very easy. I don't need to lock the car. It auto locks based on proximity and the car key. So let's head outside the car and let's wrap up my final verdict on who I think this car is for. See you outside. As we come out, one thing that we notice that these doors are quite heavy. So for children and elderly, it takes a bit more effort to open and close the door. You can see that it is quite a weighty door. As we come to the front here, there are a lot of good things about this car. The build quality is solid. The range is excellent at more than 480 kilometers of real-world range. And it's got a great implementation of Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Have not seen a better implementation so far. Again, it's wired. Hopefully in the future versions, there are wireless versions. And it's very spacious inside. It's got a nice glass roof that you can cover on hot sunny days. And the versions of the car that most people should be going for would be the entry-level ID.5 Pro. Because for this GTX version, dual motor version is going to pay more than $4,000 a year for road tax. Here in Singapore, where EV owners are paying a lot more for performance versions of the car. If you buy a Tesla Model 3 Performance, for instance, you're paying 6.7K annual road tax versus a rear-wheel drive version of any EV like this one, where the road tax is closer to 1.5K to $2,000. So that's something important for us to consider here in Singapore. What can we improve on this car? The very first thing is there is no app access for Volkswagen EVs. So today, all of us have to rely on this key fob. It's competent, it works really well. It senses when I come away and towards the car. I don't need to manually lock it. But I wish there was an app, because if it was a sunny day, we want to turn on the aircon before we head inside. When we're charging the car, without an app, I wouldn't know what my state of charge is, because many EV charging apps do not show your car's current state of charge. And it is harder to locate the car for some people if they miss the car. With apps, you can actually find where the car is, and there are so many more controls you can bring to the car. Today, more than 80% of all new EVs have an app, and I think that this is a must-have. I hope that the Volkswagen team brings an app to control a car soon. I know they're working hard on it. The other thing to consider is that at this price point at $255K for the GTX version and $235K for the entry-level version of the ID.5, there are many good EV SUV options to consider, either from Chinese brands or from brands all over the world. Let me know what you think about this car. I'm so thankful to the Volkswagen team for the opportunity to test drive this car. They've launched many new EV models. This ID.5 was launched together with ID.4 earlier in May this year. And you can see in the Volkswagen showroom down here with all their brands, you've got the ID.5, the ID.4 GTX, you've got their ID bus vans over here. I look forward to reviewing the the ID bus van in a future video as well. If you found this video useful, please click the like button. And if you enjoyed our tour of the ID.5 GTX, click subscribe to stay updated to more videos on EVs. Signing off from the Volkswagen Center here in Alexandra Road.